Closer to the wrap-up of the Market Day Report here on RFD TV and Rural Radio 147 on Sirius XM. All right, this grain market has been trending mostly higher throughout about the last 2 hours or so, and many in the trade say the key is going to be whether or not we can hold on to these gains going into the close. So let's get expert analysis now and an update from the edge of the trading floor in Chicago at the CME Group. Todd, Bubba Horwitz here with Bubba Trading is our guest for this portion, and we're going to get to him here in just a moment. But first, let's bring you up to on all of the futures numbers, because those have been higher. We talk about the corn market and the numbers that it's posting so far on this day. Right now, corn is up 3/4 on the nearby on December at 353. March corn up 3/4 at 366. Over in the soybean market, we're still headed higher by about 2 to 2.5 cents overall. November soybeans up 2 at 965.5. January soybeans up 2.5 at 976.5. And those March beans, well, they're trading at 985 3/4, which is just about 3/4 cent under the high of the day. That's 2 1/4 cents higher. For the wheat market, it's December Chicago wheat up 7 3/4, 461.5, only a half a penny away from the high of the day. March Chicago wheat up 7.5 at 481. July wheat up 6.5 at 505. Kansas City wheat market also up about that 5 to 6 cent range. December 459, only a half a cent away from the high of the day, and that's 6 3/4 cents higher. March Kansas City wheat up 6.5 at 476.5. And if you're pricing for next year as you're putting wheat in the ground, right now July Kansas City wheat trading at 505 3/4, just one tick underneath the high of the day, and that's 5 3/4 cents higher. Likewise with the Minneapolis wheat market, where December is up 4.5 at 650.5. March Minneapolis wheat up 4 at 662 3/4. July Minneapolis wheat up 3 3/4 at 663. And the December cotton, right now we're 19 points higher at 68.94. Now let's check in with Todd Horwitz, Bubba Trading. Well, young man, what do you think here? What are the technical charts telling traders going into the final minutes of today's trade?
Well, I think, John, we talked this morning. I think that everything's kind of playing out as we suspected. Beans are a little bit stronger than I thought they would be, but certainly a run up to 977 wouldn't be a total surprise. Wheat's been extremely strong after being lower, but much lower overnight, and corn's kind of stagnant, flat in that area. I don't see any reason to change my original opinion, which I believe that you want to be a buyer of corn and wheat. I think they're both going higher. I think soybeans are gonna fight that battleground at 977, and they'll end up breaking one way or the other, and right now my concern is, because we're underneath it, is that it's going to be lower. But again, then there's 940 below that. I think that there's some issues out there, and I have heard some information that there's some pretty big stuff going on out there, crop wise and harvest wise. So again, we know that it's only been done minimally, but still, that's the rumors right now.
So Todd, what are the technical managers and the managers of this fund money? What are they looking at, and what are they looking for in this market?
Well, I think they're looking for an opportunity to get in. I think they're probably sold pretty good into this, and I think they'll probably, as happens quite often, they'll probably get trapped here by a little bit of a rally, because, again, the one thing about markets when they're quiet and thin, which they are right now, you get them starting to move one way, and of course they go a lot quicker when there's not a lot of people around. And right now we're still, unfortunately, in a market that's extremely slow with light volume and very light volatility, which makes it even more of a challenge. So anybody who's got a big position right here could have trouble on either side of the market.
All right, Todd Horwitz here with us. When we come back, we'll get to all of the livestock numbers and get Todd's opinion straight ahead here on the Market Day Report. Soybean meal and the soybean oil markets are headed in the opposite direction. Let's get just a real quick thought on that from Todd Horwitz there at the edge of the trading floor at the CME Group. Product market here for the soybeans trading in opposite directions.
You know, we get overbought on one side, oversold on the other. This happens. This happens more frequently than you think, and I wouldn't read anything special into it. I think that this is just a way that market makers and traders are putting things back together and back in the line of where they should be right now. And so I wouldn't read anything really into it.
All right. Well, the Fed Cattle Exchange didn't give us much direction then here for this cattle trade, and now it's just kind of sit and wait and see. We're asking, at least the asking prices that I've heard are up there around that 110 area for live basis. Can they pull that off?
Oh, I don't think that. I think we're going higher than that. I mean, you know, again, I think that I think the live cattle, fat cattle, is in great shape here. Again, the action has been extremely good and totally expected. So I'm looking to be a buyer, and I would expect. I mean, I'm actually targeting. We hit my first objective, which was about 112. Now I'm looking for 116 on the next run up. I mean, I think if you look out into the future, we're in contango, which is telling you that prices are going to go up as we move forward. Now, can we get it through here now? Probably. I think they look really good here. I would definitely would be a buyer here.
Okay, so it is time to get into this cattle market, but what about the hogs?
How about the feeders? You want to go to those feeders?
Absolutely, sure.
Feeders, I'm not a player. Feeders, I'm a seller right now. Now, this is a market that I would say, as you asked me in the bean oil and meal, this is a market that diverged the wrong way right away. Feeders got too far ahead of this whole move here, and I think they're going to come down here. I know they're up today, but of course, they're still down for the week. I think you're going to see in the mid-140s or lower before the feeders start to make another move up. Now, longer term, I'm a player and I'm a fan, but overall, I think they're well overpriced in here for today. I think they'll go lower in the hogs. Hogs, I think that, you know, you're going to look at what's going on between October and December right now. October's getting clobbered, and December keeps going higher. So I think you're going to see December probably hit somewhere around 60 or 61 and look for a little bit of a pullback. And October is hard to say. I mean, it's like nobody cares. They just want to sell it away.
So where do you see that support in the December contract of the hogs?
I'm a buyer at 56 or 57 pretty much all day long for now. I mean, I think that was our initial target a while back, and we've been buying there, and we'll continue to buy there. As I said, I don't think we're going much lower, and I think we're going to start to get past the area where we have to worry about it, and then we start to look for, you know, brighter days coming into the first year. So I think the fourth quarter is going to be pretty good for hogs this year. Okay.
One final question then, and this has to do with crude oil. Can we break the 60 level?
60?
60.
Not in my lifetime, in my opinion. Now, one of the big things that we worry about crude, and I think the only reason we're up here today or the last couple of days, in fact, we're breaking right now, but we're up because there was fear in Turkey and Kurdistan about something going on with Brent crude. It's not even WTI. You watch, they'll get those rigs back up, and the frackers will be pumping like crazy and selling futures. I don't think we'll see 60 in my lifetime again. Now, again, obviously something could change, but for today, I think we got a better chance of seeing 20 than 60 at some point.
Todd Horwitz here with us with Bubba Trading. And by the way, you send out text messages to farmers throughout the day. How can folks get involved and contact you?
They can reach out to me at bubbatrading.com, and we can talk about it and see what we have. And again, I try to do as much educating as I can because I think it's important that farmers and producers understand there's ways to protect themselves without having to give away the farm.
Okay. Todd Horwitz here with us. Thanks a lot, Todd. We look forward to having you tonight on Rural Evening News.
Have a great day.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's look at the live cattle, feeder cattle, and hog futures then. Here we've got just a little bit of time. October live cattle down 6, 108.22, but December live cattle up 112 at 14.60. It's September feeder cattle up $1.74, 152.32. October feeders up $1.78 at 152.43. October hogs down 7 at 55.18, and December hogs up $1.25 at 59.35. And as Todd mentioned, it'll be interesting to see where we close out the day today here in a few minutes.
Thank you very much, John.